All right, this is a big one, man, as it was announced for a while, but then it wasn't finalized until just now. Uh, Basically, Lakers, Jazz, T-Wolves. It's like a bunch of rumors just crashing into each other. Uh, D'Lo going back to LA with Malik Beasley and Jared Vanderbilt, Westbrook, and I believe it's the Lakers lightly protected 2027 first, and that pick is going to be top four protected in 2027. Going to the Jazz. Mike Conley, and I guess a whole bunch of second round picks going to the T Wolves. So, yeah, let's dive into this. So, for the Lakers, I mean, here we go. They moved one of the picks. But anyway, the big thing here is the D'Lo for Westbrook swap. And, I mean, the most noticeable difference there is that D'Lo is just a much better three-point shooter than Westbrook. I mean, this year, D'Lo is up to 39% on 7 threes a game. You know, for the last, I don't know how many chunks of games exactly, but for a while now, Edwards has been handling a little bit more ball handling as well as Kyle Anderson. And so D'Lo was taking on, I don't want to say strictly an off-ball role because he still had the ball a lot, but he was tapping into that a little bit more. And so you imagine that's how it's going to look on the Lakers because LeBron is, of course, still going to be the primary guy here. I imagine the Lakers will try having D'Lo lead second units. He'll start with LeBron, of course, don't get me wrong. But also, we'll see how much ball handling duties he can take off of LeBron's shoulders. I mean, of course, D'Lo, he loves to have the more methodical approach to coming around screens and all that, as opposed to just going as fast as possible around screens, trying to finish inside like Ja Morant, because, well, of course, D'Lo is not among the fastest ball handlers in the league, but he's certainly good. But I think the biggest thing really is what his chemistry is going to be like with AD on screens. It's kind of funny. Like, we went from, let's see how D'Lo and Gobert look together, to now let's see how AD and D'Lo look together. And he has been having by far his most efficient season with the Wolves. No, he's not perfect between his individual defense, even if he's had moments in his career as like a communicator defensively, especially last year for the T-Wolves. And, sometimes the dude likes to get his tough shot selection on, and when it goes in, great. When it doesn't, it's not ideal. As in, like, tough three balls, that sort of thing. But, again, you can't argue with his efficiency this season. As for getting Malik Beasley and Jared Vanderbilt as well, Malik Beasley, who can shoot and not just be a stationary shooter, but can also, like, move around off ball quite a bit. I mean, that's just a good pickup, shooting around LeBron and AD. Like, that's exactly what they need. And Jared Vanderbilt, who is not a shooter, but is just, I mean, I say this all the time with him, he attacks the offensive glass like a madman. He gives a whole lot of energy defensively, and I'm really interested to see him with AD if they're going to try that. I mean, again, he's not a shooter like that, but you could put him in the dunker spot. He can cut. Again, the offensive rebounding is real, and I think there's a lot of potential for those two defensively. If it works on the other end, then that's something I could see them going to a lot. D'Lo is a free agent after this season. We imagine the Lakers have the intentions of bringing him back, and now with the deals that we imagine he as well as Rui are going to get from the Lakers, that is probably going to be most of, if not all of their cap space, which is fine because, I mean, we see teams with cap space all the time go into the offseason and they don't really land a whole bunch of big-name free agents, you know what I mean? And if anything, you could have your mid-level going into it, which actually, there's good reason to have that. Vanderbilt and Malik Beasley are on pretty okay contracts as well. You know, man, given that this pick was not unprotected, like they do have that top 4 protection on it, and I don't know what the future stipulations on it are after that protection, but given that protection and then getting 3 good players in their 20s, all 3 of which we expect to be on the Lakers for at least past this season, assuming that D'Lo gets the extension, it feels like a pretty good use of the pick. Like, am I crazy? Like, am I dumb here? I don't think I am. Maybe I am. I mean, Kyrie just got traded to Dallas, so I don't know. I think one way to be cynical about this would be, well, if it wasn't for a bunch of roster decisions that were made over the past couple of years, then you wouldn't have to make a move like this one, but yeah. And so now we go to the rest of this trade. Let's go to the Jazz. Russell Westbrook. Well, there's the Russell Westbrook Laker era for you. And look, just wasn't the right fit, man. I think if you look at the last 10 games for Westbrook, it kind of sums up the Lakers era for him, where in 5 of his recent games, his efficiency was pretty damn all right. And then in another 5 of his recent games, he missed a whole lot of shots. Shot selection, finishing at the rim, all that stuff. We get it, man. Also, not being a three-point shooter around LeBron and AD. As far as the future of Westbrook's career, we'll see, man. I think it's pretty safe to assume that Westbrook is not in the Jazz future plans, whether that means a buyout or that means it most likely just means a buyout. We'll see after that. But for Utah's sake, we will see what their offense looks like without Mike Conley for the rest of the season. Again, sure, you can still run your Lowry market and corner actions and all that, but without Conley, it's not going to hit the same. They also lost Malik Beasley's shooting, and I think it is safe to assume now that they are comfortable with taking this, what has been a fun season for them, in a different direction and try to get as high of a draft pick as possible. Look, it's Danny Ainge, okay? The guy has a track record of being like, I know it's kind of nice in the moment, but I think this move makes us better in the future, and he's kind of ruthless. Jordan Clarkson, we'll see if he gets moved in the next day or whatever, but as of right now, he's on the team. Maybe he just goes supernova the rest of the season. I don't know. The Jazz have already surprised us once this year. That 2027 top 4 protected pick is potentially really good. We don't know the future stipulations on it as of right now if it does fall into that protection. But still, it's in 2027, so you're going to be waiting a minute. And, who am I to argue with Danny Ainge? But I will say, for taking on Westbrook and giving up 3 good players, I don't know. I guess if you would have told me this exact move would happen, I just thought the Jazz would have gotten a little bit more. But they've also got 1 million picks. Now we go on to the T-Wolves, who basically traded D'Angelo Russell for Mike Conley and 3 second-round picks. The big thing here is Conley's age, right? He's 35 years old. He's still good, no doubt about that. He's one of the best passers in the league. He has been a huge reason why the Jazz offense has been successful this season, especially earlier in the year. And he developed the chemistry with Gobert to where he was really finding him on rolls to the basket. And we know how the Jazz were able to use Rudy's rolls as a weapon to get shooters open shots and all that stuff. The thing is that the T-Wolves, I feel like they've been finding Gobert on the rolls, in the last, 5 or 6 games. Pretty okay. I remember a specific play where, it was a swing pass, D'Lo got it in the corner, threw a bullet pass to Gobert underneath the basket. It was pretty nice. Now, with that said, should Conley be better at it than everybody else in the Wolves has been? Yeah, probably, because he did it for years with Gobert, and we saw how effective that Jazz offense was, right? And so, I get it, especially because they obviously didn't want to pay D'Lo a really big contract after the season. So a little bit of this is as well get something for the guy as opposed to letting him walk. Or I guess there were just no chances or little chances of them agreeing to a smaller extension. I don't know. It really just comes down to Conley's age, man. But yeah, that's about it. Unless I missed something, but I don't know if I did.